It was night time at Canterlot University, and Daring Do lay sleeping at her desk. Once again, having fallen asleep, sprawled over her various maps and diagrams in search of her next adventure. Little did she know that on this particular night, her next adventure would find her. Out of the darkness, a shadowy figure snuck through the halls on a mission. This dark agent of the night arrived at her office, peering briefly inside. Once he was sure she was asleep, he took a small envelope, affixed it to her door, and vanished as quickly as he'd come. The next morning, Happy, one of the university's many pages, and Daring Do's personal assistant, stood up frozen outside Daring's door.
Daring?
What is that? Herbie?
Yeah, I was bringing you your coffee.
Well, by the celestial princesses, why are you standing out there? Coming in late on me.
But, Daring, there's something on your door.
Yeah? So?
It's a letter.
And?
It's stuck there with a dagger.
What? Whoa.
There, stabbed into the door, was an ornate dagger, rubies and diamond inlaid into its hilt. It was carved with a pair of griffon's wings, spread in flight, fierce talons reaching out for any who cared to come close. The razor-sharp tip stuck through an envelope, closed with an intricate wax seal.
Well, that's certainly one way to send a letter. There we go. Hey, this is a pretty cool dagger. Early Griffonian, if I'm not mistaken. Who would leave this in my door? Not that I'm ungrateful or anything, but if I had something this cool, I wouldn't go using it as a sticky note.
Daring?
Yeah?
The letter?
Oh yeah, check out this seal. This is serious. I can't quite place it, but it looks Griffonian too. Old Griffonian. Well, this just gets more interesting by the minute, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's one word for it.
Daring Do carefully opened the letter, being careful not to break the seal. She removed the letter and saw that it was very neatly written. There was not one extra stroke, not one unnecessary embellishment.
What? What does it say?
It can't be. He's alive?
Who's alive?
I gotta go, Herpy. I need to go talk to Storm. Now.
Daring? What did the letter say? Who's alive? What about your coffee?
Give it to Mazra.
Daring ran as fast as she dared through the winding halls of Canterlot University, looking for Storm Talon, the one person she knew would have the info she needed. There was no one in Equestria more qualified to talk about Griffon history. This was not only because he was one, but because he had in fact lived through much of it. She burst through the door, panting and holding the letter under wing.
Daring? What have I told you about running in the halls? You know, I'm supposed to be chastising students about this. You're a professor, for Celestia's sake.
Storm.
Yes?
2 things. 1, shut up. 2, read this.
And what's this? Some kind of... Wait a minute. That's the seal of... the Old Kingdom. I haven't seen this outside of textbooks. Back from the days of the Elders, almost. Where did you get this?
Read it, Storm.
Do you know if this is true?
It was the place he was looking for. You know, when he...
Daring, there you are. Are you okay? What's in the letter?
You'd best read it for yourself.
The old Griffon handed in the letter. Herbie read it aloud.
Long ago, there was a city in the sky, larger than Stormton, more opulent than Cloudsdale, and with more riches than even the most wealthy of equestrians could hope to attain. And at its center, something far more valuable. The city was lost long ago in a great battle of hoof and talon, its secrets hidden away from prying eyes and greedy hooves. They say that it vanished in the night, never to be seen again, and that no natural force may find it again. I have a feeling you are intimately aware of this legend, Miss Dew. One does remember their full bedtime stories for a lifetime, does one not? But it's more than that, you and I both know. And now there is news from the coast of Zebrica of an odd cloud formation. Stories from pilots and Pegasi alike of lightning storms and strange magic. Perhaps the one who read you those stories will be waiting. I hear he misses you. Best of luck. You know what you must find.
The room was quiet for several moments.
Is it?
Yes. My father.
Daring's face was determined. She turned on her hoof and headed out of Storm's office at a brisk pace. The page and the professor stumbled to keep up with her.
Where are you going?
To the library, then to Coco's, then to Zebrica.
You can't just wander off again. You only just got back. Mazwar will have your head.
If it's a chance to find out what happened to him, she can have my legs too.
I suppose there's no stopping you, is there, Daring?
Nope.
Fine. I will cover your classes. I wish you luck wherever this message takes you.
You're coming with me.
I'm what?
This is a Griffon's seal. This is a Griffon's dagger. And this is a Griffon's legend. I'm gonna need a Griffon's expert along with me. You're the only one here who fits that bill. Besides, don't you want to find him?
Of course I do. But we have no idea if this letter is genuine.
I'm gonna find out. Now come on, we're wasting time.
I am a professor, Daring. And unlike you, I don't simply go swanning off on an adventure and leave my students behind.
Storm.
I mean, really. There's a test coming up, and I have responsibilities.
Storm?
I made a pledge when I joined this school to instill knowledge in the minds of those young up-and-comers, pony or otherwise, and I intend to keep it—
It's spring break!
What?
Spring break starts in, 2 hours.
Oh.
Now shake a mechanical leg. We need to go to the library. Herpy, I need you to locate a book for me.
Right away, Daring.
The library of Canterlot University was huge, boasting tomes from every continent, in every known language, from every time period a pony could hope to imagine. It was quite a feat to find a tome among its winding shelves. Any ordinary pony might take hours looking for the book of their choice. Fortunately, Herpy was not the average pony. He happened to be the best page this side of Equestria.
Genie, ghost, ghoul, giant... Griffon! Here we go, Daring. A Companion of Griffanian History.
Thank you, Herpy. Now, Storm, the legend should be in here, but it's an old Griffanian, and you're the only one who can translate it.
Of course. Tell me what it is you're looking for.
The legend of Kamara Mista, and the location of the Griffon's Goblet.
I figured as much. But before I start, are you sure you want to do this? Whoever sent you that letter probably has an agenda of their own.
And if they want to discuss it, I'm all ears. In the meantime, I'm going.
Very well. Though I don't know why you have me reading this. You grew up with this story.
I know, but I want to hear it straight from the Griffon's mouth. I need to be as precise as possible if I want to reach the city.
Ah, here it is.
Please read in Equestrian, Storm.
Oh, yes, of course. Sorry about that. The Legend of Kamara Mista, the Great Cloud City. Long ago the Great Queen created the world, and the Elder Days began. But soon there was a terrible war, and the races of the world were scattered and divided. They fought against one another, and there was much suffering. In these dark days, griffins preyed upon ponies at will. But there came a day when the griffins renounced their ways, and proposed a new endeavor. Together, griffins and ponies would craft a great city in the sky. By the might of the griffins, the magic of the unicorns, the will of the Pegasi, and the dedication of the earth ponies, a city was created. It was called Kamara Mista, and the clouds were enchanted with great magic, such that even unicorns and earth ponies could walk upon them with ease. One cloud was the greatest of all. It stood grandly in the center of the city, and it was called Kamara Serena. The cloud brought beautiful, unending rain, such as no creature had ever seen before. A magic goblet collected its water, and those who drank of it were blessed with magical flight beyond reckoning. The ponies and griffins delighted in their achievements, and there was peace throughout the city. But peace did not last forever. A group of griffins led by a wicked sorcerer called Grentor grew angry at their brethren, and the ponies they lived and played with. They did not want to share the power of the cloud. They planned and they schemed, even turning some of the more wicked ponies to their cause. Once their strength was built, they attacked their enemies. Griffin against pony, and even Griffin against Griffin fought for control of the city. Hooves met beaks and claws ripped at hides. The battle lasted for days, fierce and unceasing, until finally, the sky darkened and the ground rumbled. All were confused until suddenly a great voice was heard, bellowing from the magic cloud. It decreed, "The harmony that wrought my creation is broken. Instead of joy, I see only fighting and unhappiness. This great city is no longer a place of peace, but one of war. I have granted you great flight, and you have repaid me with naught but childish squabble. If you cannot maintain harmony in my presence, then I shall expel you." A great wind blew through the city, tossing all from its walls. But Grentor sought to ensure that he would find the city again and take the cloud for his own. As the wind howled, he cast a spell upon the goblet of the cloud, and the cloud itself. He said, "This goblet shall leave its place and descend to the surface. When it is met with a gift of a griffin, the city shall be found again." And it was so. But his efforts were for naught. As the wind grew in strength, the goblet was ripped from Grentor's talons and carried away to the horizon. Grentor searched all his life for the place where the goblet fell, but he was never successful. Because of his curse, it is now called the Griffin's Goblet. That is all it has to say on the matter.
Wow. And you think your father might have found it?
I don't know. But there's only one way to find out. Storm, pack your things.
But wait, you're going to fly to Zebrica, locate a long-lost artifact, use that long-lost artifact to locate a long-lost city, and search that long-lost city for your father. Over spring break? That's only 1 week! You'll never make it back in time!
Herbie, my boy, I'm going to ask you a favor.
Wait, no.
We'll try to be back in a week, but if we don't make it...
But...
There's a class that Monday. It's only a lecture, you'll be fine. We'll probably be back before then in any case.
But I'm not a professor!
Glad that's settled. See you later, Herpy.
But wait, I can't!
I'll tell Coco you said hi.
But Daring!
So, what now?
We head out, that's what. First, we need to find the goblet. If we find that, we find the city. We'll need transport. Fast transport.
You'll need protection, too.
Protection? Storm, I've been skulking around ancient tombs since I was a filly. I don't need any protection.
This time could be different. Whoever sent you that letter knows something about this, and he may not be the only one. I doubt we'll be the only two looking for the goblet in Zebrica. If we're going to do this, we're going to do it right. Let me handle the transport. I'll call in some favors. Can you hold off till then?
Fine, if you insist. But I'm still going to Coco's. You make those arrangements. Make them fast and meet me back here, got it?
Yes, ma'am.
The two split up, Stormtalon going to secure safe passage to Zebrica, while Daring went to see the ever-eccentric sales pony Cocoa Pie. As always, she was set up in the local bazaar, making sure it lived up to its name.
So you're telling me I can get 2 manticore stingers if I just reverse the polarity of the...
Coco?
Oh, hi, Daring. 1 sec. Let me just finish this call.
Call? What is that thing?
Something called a phone. A nice stallion with a tie gave it to me.
Never mind. I need some supplies. The usual. Grappling hooks, bug repellent, water, all that stuff. Plus some extra clothes and a couple first aid kits.
Planning on getting hurt?
No, but I just might hurt someone else.
Ooh, well, aren't you Miss Grumpy Pants today? What's up?
It's nothing. Just to get my stuff.
It's certainly not nothing. If it was nothing, then it wouldn't be something. And it's obviously something, not nothing. So what's something?
Huh?
Come on, tell old Cocoa Pie about it.
I told you, it's nothing. Please get my supplies so I can go back to doing nothing.
All right, if you say so. There you go, all wrapped up and ready to go.
Thanks, Coco.
You're welcome. Good luck finding your father.
Yeah, you too. Wait, what did you just say?
Nothing.
Alright then. I'll see you later.
Probably not until the next book.
Okay. Later, Coco.
Daring Do took her leave from the bazaar, leaving the Odd Earth Pony's store in her wake. She became lost in her thoughts as she made her way back to the university. Normally she would have flown, but at the moment she found that she didn't feel like it. There was a tightness in her chest. She wasn't sure what it was. She wouldn't have called it fear. That would have been too simple. It was something more deeply rooted, something old. Her father had been lost for years. The chance to find him, or at least what had happened to him, brought up thoughts she hadn't bothered to think in a very long time. She was so distracted by this that she walked headfirst into the giant airship parked on the university lawn.
What in the... Whoa.
Ahoy, Daring! I called in that favor! Lower the intake bridge!
Sir, aye, sir!
Bring Miss Do aboard post-haste and prep the engines. We launch at dawn! She may be an old bird, but she's got some fight left in her. Am I right?
Sir, aye, sir!
In front of Daring's eyes lay the Storm's Vengeance, once the pride and joy of the Griffon Air Navy. The ship had since been retired and gathered dust in the local museum as a relic of a bygone era. Now it sat restored to its former glory and primed to fly. Above, its large boat-like hull propellers spun gently in the wind, ready to lift them into the sky at a word's notice from her captain, the proud seal of the Navy shining beneath the bowsprit in the sun. Daring stood awestruck as the boarding plank lowered onto the well-kept grass of the university lawn. Inside lay the control hub of the Storm's Vengeance. Griffons of all kinds walked about, checking gauges, taking orders, and preparing the ship for liftoff. There were more buttons and levers than Daring could possibly understand. The large windscreen offered a perfect view of the setting sun framed in glass.
Reading 3.2 Mach 0.
Power check on propeller 2.
Port side cannon reports good function. Checking starboard.
Well, are you going to stand there gawking, ground lubber?
You're enjoying this, aren't you?
Maybe a little. Now, how about I give you the grand tour?
A tour of the Storm's Vengeance? How could I turn that down? And while we're on the subject, how did you manage this? I mean, I was expecting a plane, not a fully stocked airship with a full crew.
Well, I said you'd need protection, and nowhere under Celestia's sun is there any better than under the watchful eye of this bird. Anyone foolish enough to tangle with you now has to tangle with us. There aren't many who'd do that lightly. And how I managed? You rack up a lot of favors after a few decades in the Air Navy. More than enough for a small request like this.
This is small?
Well, I thought 2 might be excessive, but if you want...
Captain, status report. All propellers have been tested at half power. Reporting good function. Full power test will begin within the hour. Ammunition is being loaded now. Engine room reports a 6% thermal manifold in the matrix. Recommend flushing the system.
Agreed. Will we be ready on schedule?
Aye, sir. We'll be ready for anything.
Excellent, Sergeant. As you were.
One more thing, sir.
Yes?
It's good to see you again.
It's good to see you too, Sergeant Cloud. Now let's get this bird in the air.
Aye, sir.
You see, Daring, we are staffed by the finest crew the Air Navy has to offer, the 201st. There are no better Griffons in the sky, that I guarantee you. All on an off-the-books volunteer mission, of course.
So awesome!
I thought you'd say that. Now, this is the control room, from which orders can be sent to any part of the ship. The wheelhouse is situated in the center, along with various gadgets and monitors. We have to keep careful watch on the heat levels in Arcane Matrix. If it gets too hot, we could rupture the containment field.
That would be bad.
Yes, I suppose it would be. I guess it kind of loses its power after you've survived it once or twice. Took a while for my feathers to grow back after that one.
Storm, back on track?
Oh, yes. In any case, follow me. This is the communication center, where all messages are relayed using a bit of magic. Wait a tick. Who are you, Sergeant? Where's Skycall?
Out sick, sir. I'm his replacement chart talent. I'll do my best to do you proud, sir.
All right, then. As you were. As I was saying, when we reach Zebrica, we'll hail them and let them know of our intent. While this airship has seen greater threats than the Zebrican Navy, I don't want to antagonize them unnecessarily by sneaking in unannounced.
Makes sense. So, how quickly can we get this puppy off the ground anyway?
Well, we're not fully prepped yet. We can't lift off for a trip that long without thorough inspections and tuning of the engines, oiling of the gears, calibration of the balance, testing of the arcane flight matrix.
I get the point. When can we leave?
First thing in the morning should be. Can you wait a night?
If I have to. I do still need to do some research on where the goblet might be. Word of mouth is fine, but books are best.
Indeed.
Daring turned to leave, but as she did, something occurred to her.
Hey, Storm?
Yes?
This thing was a museum piece for the longest time. How did you manage to get it here so fast?
A very perceptive question.
That would like a very perceptive answer.
Well, Daring, things haven't been quite right in Griffon circles lately. There's been rumors of strange things going on. I've been worried for a while, so a few weeks ago I made a request to have the ship readied in case it was needed. It was denied, but like I said, I called in some favors. It seems my worries were not unfounded.
What was it you were so worried about?
Some Griffons, they don't like the idea of sharing the sky with ponies. That battle was fought a long time ago, but a few just don't know when to let go. You don't survive as long as I did in the Griffon Navy without being a little paranoid. These are hardened Griffons, Daring. If they're involved, I want you to have every possible advantage.
I see. Thank you, Storm. Though if they know anything about my father, I don't care if they're hardened manticores, and I won't need your defenses. They will.
I have no doubt, but it never hurts to plan ahead.
I'm gonna go do that research. You come get me the second we're ready to lift off.
Aye, aye, Daring.
Daring made her way back to the deck of the airship. It was at eye level with several of the officers inside. She was internally thankful Mastra's office was on the opposite side of the building. Scanning the curious faces inside, she spotted the pony who she knew was best suited to help her find the information she needed.
Herpy! Get your flank out here and bring every book you can find about Zebrakin mythology!
All of them?
All of them! And make some more coffee! It's gonna be a late night!
The pair of them set up in the mess hall, poring through tome after tome. Zebrica's history was rich in folklore, and it was no simple task to locate one myth among so many. But Daring was tireless, and knowing the stakes, so was Herpy.
Daring?
Yes?
Are you sure you want to see this through? What if you don't like what you find?
At least I'll have found it. I need to know at least. I need to know.
All right. In that case, I may have found something.
What is it?
An old Zebrican legend from the Fertile Crescent. There's a tribe of zebras who worship a sacred chalice.
That sounds promising.
The legend says that many years ago, a shaman was lost in the desert. He had been on a journey to find enlightenment and lost his way. He was hungry and thirsty, and there was no food or drink for miles in any direction. He continued to walk for miles and miles. His legs were weary, but eventually he collapsed. All hope was gone. There was no chance of help. He was too far from anything for his hoarse cries to be heard. Fairly certain he was not going to live much longer, he made his peace and closed his eyes.
Yes, the usual monk story. What does this have to do with the Griffon's goblet?
That's just it. The legend continues that right when he'd given up all hope, there was a sound from the sky. The sound of thunder and lightning. Suddenly, the sky was darkened by a single black, swirling cloud. He watched in awe, too weak to move as it started to storm in the middle of the desert. Then, from the heavens there was a flash of gold, and tumbling from the sky came a goblet of gold and jewels. It landed in front of the shaman, and using it to catch the rain, he was able to survive.
You don't think...
The dates match up, though there's some debate of Zebrakin versus equestrian record-keeping when it comes to dates, but it makes sense. A great storm, a chalice from the sky. I mean, I know a chalice and a goblet are technically two different things, but really, the goblet title is more for poetry. I suspect alliteration is quite common in legends and...
Herpy, focus. Where?
Oh yes, the legend corresponds to an area around the town of Griffon, right on the tip of the Fertile Crescent, near Upper Saddle, Arabia. There's an old temple built in the goblet's honor. The legend holds that the rain it brought to the desert is why the land along the crescent yields such good crops. My research seems to indicate the strange cloud formations are right around that area too, just off the coast of the Mediterranean Sea. I think that's no coincidence.
Neither do I. This is the lead I was looking for. Thanks a ton, Herpy.
The page turned a peculiar shade of red as Daring embraced him.
You're welcome. Good luck, Daring. Come back safe.
I owe you one when I get back. I'll help dust off artifacts or something. I gotta go tell Storm our destination. Thanks again.
Informed of their destination, Stormtalon plotted a course for Glyphmark in Zebrica. The great warship grew quiet as night settled on Canterlot University. The crew members who remained awake, making last-minute preparations and checks, were far too busy to notice the shadowy form that crept through the darkness. Not even when it snaked up the gangplank and hid itself among their supplies.
This has been Daring Do Adventures, Griffin's Goblet, Part 1. Written by Squeak-anon. Directed by Sonic Sons. Featuring Wolfie as Daring Do, Random as Stormtalon, Draw Ponies as Herpy, Fluttershy as Cocoa Pie, Dash as narrator, Jeffa Archfiend, Marivex, Kara, and Big Pip as Sailors 1 through 5, Jeffa Archfiend as Sergeant Cloud, Taro Lee as Skycall. Edited by Ben, Big Pip, and Squeak-anon. All contents used under the Fair Use Doctrine and other legal provisions. Daring Do is copyright of Hasbro.